the Chiefs' kingdom has firmly planted its flag on top of football's highest summit.
The 2023 NFL season was one of the most fun and entertaining seasons to watch in recent memory, full of ups and downs and the occasional twist or turn. From the young superstars who hit the ground running and never looked back, to the old-timers being given one final chance. This season was definitely one to remember. The season ended not even a month ago, and I'm sure you already forgot most of the things that happened. And that's why today we're taking a road trip around the US to revisit some of the best moments from the 2023 NFL season. But before we do that, we need to flash back to 2019, a year full of surprising buzzer beaters. The Damian Lillard series-winning buzzer beater against the Oklahoma City Thunder.
A chance to send the Thunder home. Lillard, long-range three, and it's good! At the buzzer! Damian Lillard!
And of course, the Kawhi Leonard Eastern Conference Final buzzer beater to send the Raptors to the finals.
Defended by Simmons. Is this the dagger?
Those are arguably the greatest buzzer beaters of all time. Until Joe Flacco from the top ropes came and stole Comeback Player of the Year from Damar Hamlin in the final seconds. Now that is a buzzer beater. Only a couple days left in the season, and with all odds against him, Joe Flacco did the impossible. He stole an award from someone who literally died on the field. It's not something you see every day. It was a once-in-a-lifetime event that had social media in a frenzy. Now, this was one of the most hilarious things about the 2023 NFL season. I mean, they had Damar Hamlin going on press tours, basically saying to everybody he's gonna win Comeback Player of the Year. Now, as funny and as hilarious and as crazy as this is, that's only the tip of the iceberg to all the crazy shit that went down in the NFL this year. Now, buckle up, hold on, because like I said, we're gonna go on a road trip. First stop, Oregon. I know, there's no NFL team in Oregon. The Trailblazers are in the NBA. The Timber are in the MLS. There's no Portland NFL team. Wait, what is that? Is that a cave? Is there screaming coming from that cave? Hold on. Let me get a little bit closer. I'm gonna go check it out. Oh shit! Aaron Rodgers, is that you?
Why, yes, it is I, Aaron Jesus Rodgers, and I have decided to play for the New York Jets.
The Jets. You're gonna play for the Jets. To each his own, but that's not the decision I would have made personally. Anyways, I guess we're off to East Rutherford now, home to the New York Jets. A team destined for glory now that they got Aaron Rodgers. And who better to face in week 1 than their division rivals, the Buffalo Bills. And off they go through that tunnel, being led by the man who's gonna make every Jets fan wishes come true. Super Bowl bound. This is their year. Nothing will get in their way. Let me take you back about 10 seconds. This clip of Aaron Rodgers running out the tunnel is quite literally the beginning and the end of the New York Jets season. Aaron Rodgers would play 4 entire snaps. Now, they were 4 very exciting snaps. I think it was 3 runs and he broke his leg right after that. Rodgers spent 4 days and 4 nights in a dark, tiny little cave in order to decide his future more clearly. He came out of that cave and decided to play for the worst NFL team of all time. Staying in New York, we have the Buffalo Bills, like I just mentioned, who, in my opinion, are the most inconsistent team in the entire NFL. They were 6-6 at one point this season and ended up winning their division and winning a playoff game. But although this was a great comeback, it really was not the craziest thing to happen in New York. I don't know about you guys, but New York always reminds me of like a little Italy. I don't know if it's because there's so many Italians that live there, but who really cares? I went to Italy last summer and I personally loved it. I loved the food, the pizza, the pasta, the music. I can say as a matter of fact that Italy has produced some of the best things in the entire world. The Roman Colosseum, fettuccine alfredo, margarita pizza, and of course, Tommy DeVito. Yeah, I bet you already forgot about him, huh? Mr. Tommy Cutlets, one of the 35 backup quarterbacks that played incredibly well this season. Tommy DeVito, to me at least, is very reminiscent of another New York sports icon, Jeremy Lin. DeVito truly had a Linsanity type of run, from the couch to winning NFL games. I mean, the guy was still living in his parents' house and then would just randomly go to frickin' MetLife Stadium and put on the Giants jersey and just start at quarterback. Like, that is the craziest and coolest thing anyone has ever done, in my opinion. And of course, no one can forget his agent, who legitimately broke the internet because of his mafia-esque outfit. Fun little trivia question for you guys, just to spice it up a little bit. How many rookie quarterbacks started in the NFL this season alone? Is it 5, 3, 8, or 10? Write your answer down in the comment section really quick. I'll give you 10 seconds to do so. All right, you've had enough time. While you were down there, did you happen to click the subscribe button? I mean, I'd really appreciate it if you want to just scroll back down really quick, click that. All right. Would you be surprised if I said it was 10 rookie quarterbacks? I hope not, because that is the correct answer. 10 rookie quarterbacks. The most in the history of the NFL in a single season. Obviously, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Will Levis, Anthony Richardson, Aiden O'Connell, Tommy DeVito, Easton Stick? I could not name you the rest. Oh, the guy from the Browns, I think? And with that, we're off back to Ohio, the home of LeBron James, the National Air Force Museum, and one of the worst franchises in the entire history of the NFL. From getting their team stolen from them to having 38 different quarterbacks in 25 years, the Cleveland Browns have made a lot of bad decisions over the course of their history. But none of them have proved to be as bad as this one. In 2022, the Browns were fresh off of getting rid of their former number 1 overall pick Baker Mayfield and needed somebody to replace him. They got Jacoby Brissett, but he was pretty bad. I mean, I'm a Dolphins fan. I watched a season of Jacoby Brissett backing up Tua, and he's not a very good quarterback. So the offseason following Jacoby Brissett, they thought to themselves, man, we really need a quarterback. Who are we gonna get? They decided it was a good idea to trade for a known massage enthusiast, Deshaun Watson. And this isn't even the worst part. I'm sure you guys know they gave him a fully guaranteed $230 million contract. And again, this is not the worst part. He had 2 season-ending injuries in the 2 years that he's played for the team. But again, not the worst part of the situation. The worst part of this situation is that after Deshaun Watson got hurt, they had to go on another quarterback hunt, which ended up in them convincing a basically retired Joe Flacco to get off the couch and come play for them. The worst part of it all is that Flacco, a former division rival because he used to be on the Ravens, had a better season than any other quarterback in recent Browns history, leading them to the playoffs with an 11-6 record, but sadly losing to the Texans and that very young team. Speaking of the Texans, let's go on down to Houston, might as well. The Houston Texans had 6 starting offensive linemen on injured reserve throughout the course of this season. They lost their first 2 games by a combined 27 points. They had a rookie receiver, rookie head coach, and rookie offensive coordinator. And even with all of these new pieces and broken pieces, they were still able to make the playoffs and even win a playoff game. The crazy part is, they did all of this while being led by one of the 10 rookie quarterbacks that I mentioned previously. CJ Stroud honestly had a hell of a season for himself. At one point, he was even in the MVP conversation. The reason that this team is worth reminiscing on, not only the fact that CJ had a great year and that they had a great year, the fact that CJ was a number 2 pick. The reason he was a number 2 pick is because a lot of people just weren't high on him because he scored low on some silly cognition test. It made people think he was too stupid to play the position. I'm sure all Texans fans could agree they're glad that the team with the number 1 pick passed on CJ Stroud. I don't know if you knew this, but Bryce and CJ are actually longtime friends, both having grown up in the same area as each other, even playing on the same Elite 11 team when they were younger. Bryce was selected just before CJ in the draft, obviously number 1 and number 2, and ever since then they were forced from friends into rivals. Sadly, Bryce had a pretty poor season and CJ had a really great season. Being just under 6 feet tall really hindered Bryce's abilities, and of course him having a horrible team didn't help either. Hopefully next season the Panthers surround him with a real coach and a real team to help him succeed. Because the team he had this year easily could all be playing in the XFL next year. From Carolina, we're going to head overseas. If you didn't know, the NFL actually plays games overseas in England, Germany, and then pretty soon they're going to expand to Brazil and Spain. The England games were full of controversy this year. The Jaguars typically get awarded 1 game in England every season, but this year they were given 2 games. This is not what the controversy was about though. Nobody really cared that they got 2 games. The controversy comes when the second game in London happens, Jaguars vs Bills. The Bills were at a small disadvantage, having less time to acclimate than the Jaguars did, since the Jags had already been there a full week, and the Bills were only there a couple days. Nobody had any problems with this disadvantage until after the game finished. The sorry little sore loser Bills fans took over Twitter and complained that the Jags were given an unfair advantage. Now, they were given an unfair advantage, but the fact that you were so quick to point it out after you lost, I'm sure you wouldn't have even mentioned it if you won. The Bills seriously have such a sorry fan base, and that's definitely not any bias peeking through at all. The other overseas game was in Frankfurt, Germany, home to a pretty mid soccer team. Not that anybody even watches soccer except me. Go Liverpool. Anyways, the teams I'm playing in Germany were the Dolphins and the Chiefs. Both teams started the season incredibly hot. The game, however, was a pretty poor display of the NFL overseas. The reason it's worth looking back on is because of one single play. Yeah, the entire game can be summed up into one single play. The play where Tyreek Hill forgot he was not on the Chiefs anymore and fumbled the entire game away.
There's no ball's loose. It is loose and picked up and lateraled. Brian Cook. Touchdown.
Now, sadly, we have to come back to the States. I hope you guys enjoyed the little plane ride overseas, but we can't stay here forever. I'm not getting paid enough to house you guys for more than one night. And now we're off to Los Angeles. The Los Angeles Rams won the Super Bowl a couple years ago, but that's not why we're making this quick pit stop. We're making this pit stop because they had a very, very special receiver on that team. Yes, Ben Skowronek, the fullback turned receiver, incredible player, had 1,500 yards this season. I bet you didn't even remember. Yeah, a fullback had 1,500 receiving yards. Did you believe me? No. Obviously, we're going to Los Angeles to talk about Puka Nacua, the greatest rookie receiver of all time. Playing alongside of Cooper Kupp is not an easy task for anybody. To do better than Cooper Kupp in a season is almost an impossible task, breaking the receiving yards record, receiving catches record, and somehow missing out on the Offensive Rookie of the Year. Which is okay. I mean, whatever. Not everyone can win Offensive Rookie of the Year, and it sucks that Puka Nacua got drafted at the same time as CJ Stroud. Don't leave just yet, because there's a couple more special things coming up just after this commercial break. Did you guys know that if you press the subscribe button down there in the bottom, it does a cool little animation? Yeah. Try it. Check it out. See what happens. And if you're not satisfied with what happened, call this phone number right here and we'll get that sorted out for you right away. But there's still one more stop I really think you're gonna like. Kansas, home of the Chiefs. Wait, what do you mean the Chiefs don't play in Kansas? Their name is Kansas City, the city in Kansas, the capital of Kansas, I'm guessing? I don't know. Who cares about Kansas? Missouri? Really? They play in Missouri? Missouri. The home of the Chiefs, apparently. A team who has won 3 Super Bowls in the past 5 seasons. A team where some of the greatest players of all time have played. Kadarius Toney, Noah Gray, Drew Tranquill. 3 legends that helped build the dynasty that is the Chiefs. But of course, they're not the only ones on the team. We must pay homage to some of the bench warmers that helped out by handing out water bottles and giving massages, like Patrick Mahomes and Taylor Swift's boyfriend. The boyfriend that caused an insane amount of chaos in the NFL. But it wasn't really him that caused chaos, it was Taylor Swift. As sad as it sounds, a musician ruined the lives of million grown-ass men. Yes, grown-ass men were whining on Twitter because the NFL was trying to milk as much money as they could out of Taylor Swift, which is expected because, the NFL is a business. I don't normally agree with Colin Cowherd, but he had a really great take about the Taylor Swift situation.
When I hear this whole thing about Taylor Swift, I just want to watch football. Liar. You're lying. That's not true. A football telecast is not just football. In fact, the commercials for 4 hours before the Super Bowl will be widely watched. Did you know statistically in a 3.5-hour NFL playoff broadcast or regular season broadcast, just 18 minutes are actual football? And we have the data, we have the numbers. You don't turn away. There's coaches cutaways. They show fans in Buffalo on fire. Commercials, reviews, 18 minutes of real football. For the record, about the length of 5 Taylor Swift songs.
Now, why does Taylor Swift matter so much? Well, that's because she turned a lot of NFL fans against Travis Kelce. If you want to learn more about that, then click this video and I'll see you guys over there.